Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm working on a recipe now that I made last night for dinner. It's roasted chicken thighs and roasted potatoes, all on one cooking sheet in the oven at the same time, and it was all done in about 35 to 40 minutes, depending on the size of your pieces of chicken. But I want you to stick around, see if you think you might like this recipe. It was really simple. You use spices from your spice cabinet, and there's no artificial colors, artificial flavors, artificial preservatives, all that stuff. There's none of that in this recipe. It's just good, fresh ingredients, and I'm really working hard on trying to get that more into my family's diet. And I just think it's important that we look at what we're eating, think about the bad things that we're putting into our body that may be causing us all to be sick or feel bad. I can tell you this, that I have cut out seed oils as much as I can, and my body feels better. I don't have the joint pain in my back or my hips that I used to have. It seems to be getting better. I'm going to say that it's hard to completely cut out those seed oils, canola oil, all of the sunflower oil, those types of oil. It's hard to cut all of that out because if you buy processed foods, those oils are what's going to be used. But with all that said, I want you to try this recipe. It's so easy, so fast, and your family's going to love it. So you're going to start off mixing your spices, and it's going to start off with 2 tablespoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And of course, if you don't have some of these spices, you could omit, or you could add something different. Maybe a little bit of red pepper would give it a little bit of a kick. That might be good. So you're going to mix this up, and these are the spices that I used. You're just going to take a spoon and mix these up and have it ready for when you get your chicken thighs ready to roast. Just set this aside. That paprika is going to give it such a golden color once it roasts. I'm going to put them all back into my drawer. This is been such a wonderful thing that I did. I bought all these bottles from Amazon, and it helps me keep my spices organized. So we're going to cut open the package of chicken thighs, and this is enough to feed me and my husband for a couple of nights. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim them all up and have some ready for another meal. I'm just going to trim the fat off the edges, and I'm just going to use my knife and cut at an angle so that I don't remove a lot of the meat from that thigh. I just want to try to get a little bit of that fat off if I can. And I go ahead and do that to all of these thighs. These are pretty small actually, so they did not take quite as long to cook as I had expected. So you're just going to fillet that off of there. It's the only word I know to use. Just at an angle, use your knife to cut off that little bit of fat so you don't lose very much meat. Now I'm going to prepare my pan. I'm going to spray some olive oil on there. Actually, this is avocado oil. And then I'm going to take a brush and just make sure that it is coated completely across the whole pan so that my vegetables and my chicken does not stick. Arranging them on the cooking sheet so that I can put my potatoes down the center. And I used Yukon Gold potatoes. They have a very thin skin, so I did not have to peel those potatoes. Okay, once you have your chicken arranged on the baking sheet, just sprinkle your spices, and then you're going to flip those over and sprinkle more on the bottom side. Once you have your spices all sprinkled on there, then you can use whatever's left to put on your potatoes. So you want to reserve about a tablespoon of your spices just for your potatoes. So here are my potatoes. Like I said, I used Yukon Gold. I'm just going to quarter them and then cut them into smaller pieces so they will roast pretty fast along with the thighs. So once I get all my potatoes chopped up, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of avocado oil or olive oil to those potatoes, and then about a tablespoon of my leftover spices. Stirring that around and get that coated all over the potatoes evenly. And then I'm just going to pour it down the center of my pan. Once I have those all arranged, then I'm going to take my oil and just spray a little bit on top of those thighs, placing it in a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to flip them over and test doneness after 15 minutes. Once they're tender and completely cooked, they're ready to serve. You want your internal temperature of your chicken thigh to be 165 degrees. So thanks for watching, and I hope you come back and see me sometime.